Right then, thanks for coming back to the channel. Before we get stuck into this brilliant little conversation that we had with Brendan, I got a little bit of a confession to make. This whole new podcast and the setup and the cameras that we are using is all new to the stuff that we do with all of our other podcasts. And we had a bit of a problem with one of the SD cards and it corrupted. So we've done our best to resurrect it. But in this podcast, Brendan's camera had to be rebuilt through like some mad recovery thing. So it has come back. We managed to get it back, but it is a little bit out of focus. Our other camera and the one that's on me, they're all okay and the audio is fine. So hopefully it doesn't detract away from the story. But just to let you know, for this episode, we made a boo-boo when it came to Brendan's camera. All the rest of them should be fine. So make sure to subscribe. We've got some incredible guests and stories. But before we get into those, let's get into this one. Right then. Nice and warm?
Always.
Good to go?
Yeah. Done my stretches outside.
Right then, Brendan Loughnane, welcome to the show.
Nice to be here, mate.
Nice
Good
to
to be back.
It is nice to see you as well, genuinely, because I haven't seen you in a couple of years. You, when was the last time I saw you actually in person? It might have been a PFL semi in London.
Wow. No, it wasn't. It can't have been.
Might have been.
There's no way. That was 2022, mate. It can't have been that long.
No, because you brought your belt in.
Yeah. I was going to say.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Not a chance. But it has been a while. I don't really come back to Manchester too much anymore. When I do, it's usually for the summer, see the family and keeping it moving. And avoid paying tax. Yeah, like even right now, I'm keeping it moving, mate. I'm waiting for it. I'm going to the airport after this.
Okay, let's take it back. Obviously, we trained together all the way back in 2008, 2009, 2010 at Stockport.
Yeah.
Under Ian Bromley.
Yes.
Which I'm sure we'll probably touch on a little bit later. All the way back then, I think you was semi-pro at the time.
Oh, that was funny. Semi-pro. Something they just made up so they didn't have to pay you. Brilliant, wasn't it?
That's literally what it was, wasn't
I'm not joking. Like, we had amateur where there's no headshots, and then they come up with semi-pro, which is not even a thing now. And basically what they did was they thought, right, how can we not pay anyone? So let's come up with semi-pro, which was elbows. Everything was involved, but it was 2 rounds instead of 3.
Pro rules, full unified rules.
Yeah.
But you don't get any cash.
Well, even if he was getting cash at pro back then, he was only getting 200 quid, so it didn't really matter. They were being that tight.
Mad. The MMA scene's changed significantly, hasn't it? Did you ever think back then, I mean, I kind of think I know the answer here, but did you ever think back then you could be a world champion? Was it just doing it for the...
What was a world champion back then? What was it, mate? Yeah, there was like... You couldn't have aspirations to be a world champion because nothing was even happening with the sport. I was doing that out of sheer love for the game.
Blitz at the Ritz.
Yeah, all that.
What was that one called in Nottingham?
Clash of Warriors.
Clash of Warriors.
Yeah. There was like nothing was happening, Steve, whatsoever. No one was making any money unless you was Randy Couture.
There was Dan Hardy was big at the time.
Was he even gold? Yeah.
And Bisping was in the UFC, but he wasn't mega popular.
He wasn't, He was fighting in Cage Warriors when I started, and I went to watch him at Cage Warriors in the Coventry Dome. He wasn't even in the UFC yet. There you go.
And nearly 17 years later.
Yeah.
Did it go how you thought?
Did what?
Did it go how you thought? Or has this been sort of unravelling in front of you?
Pretty much. Taking it as it comes. Flying through it. Watching the sport grow. I watched the sport go from being completely frowned upon to mainstream. It was insane how far it's come. And like literally, I used to tell people when I first started, oh yeah, I do cage fighting. And then they would be like, man, you don't even want to sit near you.
It's a bit like the bare knuckle stuff at the moment, and it has kind of got that
I don't think that'll catch on, no.
No, not the same.
I just can't see it. It's too violent. There's too much damage in the face, you know what I mean? Every single person that comes out of that, it looks like they've been in a car crash.
But the reaction from people was the same. If you said cage fighter back 20 years ago, that was what people couldn't
exactly that.
What made you fall in love with combat sports then? Because you grew up playing football, didn't you?
Yeah, exactly. Like
everyone.
Typical, and didn't even do anything till I did MMA at 16. So like most of the people now that you meet would have done karate or jiu-jitsu or been put in some form of martial arts, even if it was gymnastics, something. I was doing nothing apart from kicking footballs around like everyone else. And then it was my next door neighbour, Ben Walker, he used to do it. And then I used to go and watch his fights, like we just touched upon with Bisping and that. He used to fight on them Cage Warrior shows. So I used to go and watch. And then he's like, you should give it a try, you know. I was like,
I think I know Ben. Did he used to train with us at Stockport?
you will know him, yeah. And then, that was it. I just had a little roll around at Danny Ram's. I had to beg one of my mates to come with me because I was like, I'm not going there on my own. He came and he was like, fuck this, I'm never coming back here again. And that was it. And I was just in the door. I just wanted to get in the door first. And once I'd got in the door, I didn't leave.
And you obviously grew up around Marcus and Jesse as well.
I did. So, yeah.
Talk on that a little bit.
So obviously I'm very close with the family. They even come to me fight in New York, Roy and Louis and Julie. So yeah, I mean, and I'm very close with Dwayne and Dane, Marcus's brothers, and we were just young lads on the estate, just like, they obviously had a much clearer path than me, way clearer, like academies, like nutritionists, and they had it all lined up perfectly. And typical, like a Brendan Loughnane story, I was just muddy, didn't know where to go, no direction, and just kind of dug a hole and found a way.
It's mad that at 16 you think, nowadays it does feel like it'd be too late to fall into it and become a pro and become a world champion. There was no background, nothing, not even wrestled, must have been a bit of boxing.
Me? Yeah, just straight MMA I did. I just straight MMA, straight into Danny's doors. Danny was just teaching just strictly MMA, and he'd make us do a bit of everything. If I'm honest, it was just fighting as hard as we could against each other in bag gloves, because there was no MMA gloves going knocking about to even training. So we had to do it in bag gloves. But we trained hard, and I went down to see him the other day, about a week ago, and they're still doing the same shit. They're still doing piggybacks and handstands and fireman's carries, and they're training old school. I love it. That's how I came up.
That's down at my side?
No, that was down at Ian Bromley's in Stockport, but Kevin, all them were started down at my side, and Paul Gardner and all them, they're all still there doing the same dead hard training. Like the warm-up was like 60 minutes long. I'm not joking, it was just torture, like press-ups, pull-ups. Like, it was just, and they're still doing it now, and I just watched them and I thought, yeah man, now I know where it all come from.
I remember one of the warm-ups that we used to do with Ian was 500 squats.
Yeah, exactly, come on, yeah.
You feel like
what it
throwing
is,
up and getting a cuddle after.
You just get taught to be unbelievably mentally strong and unbreakable, because they just say a stupid number, like you just said, 500 squats,
500 bodyweight squats.
Yeah, and then everyone go, okay, then, and just start doing it, and no one's giving up because all your mates are in there and you're looking at you, and sort of like the army, there's a lot of comparisons.
Yeah.
When you're a soldier, and when you're a fighter,
broken down, you get smashed.
Yeah, there you go.
And you get your self-worth, confidence, identity, all that sort of
exactly. So you know better because you've done both. So you can see the comparisons better than me. But from what I see, it's the exact same stuff.
How'd you get involved with Tony?
So then I'd had one or two fights through Danny.
On Clash of Warriors?
Maybe not even one. Maybe I had my first one. And then Kane, who was also training there at Danny's, was like, I'm going to do some extra sessions in the week at Platt Lane. Do you want to come down with me? And my uncle's going to do it. I said, sound, no worries. I was in it at that point, loved it. So
this is still amateur / semi-pro, not even thinking about getting paid.
This is 2008, yeah. And then that was it. I was just in it then, and then I just started training with Tony. And then, I mean, the rest is history. It's been there all the way up until today.
When did the decision to become a pro come?
Even that wasn't a big decision back then. Like, it's not like, right, I'm turning pro.
What was your first pro?
A lot's going to change.
Was it on Blitz at the Ritz?
My first ever professional fight was in
MMA
Doncaster. I fought a guy called, do you know Jordan Desborough? He actually lives in Manchester now. Yeah, he runs SBG now. I think Jordan was maybe 3-0 at the time, and I was just coming into my pros, and I fought him in Cumbria in some random show, and we had a good fight, to be fair. First round was pretty close. Second, I started to pull away a bit with the cardio, and I knocked him out towards the end of the second, but it was a good fight, and it was a good entrance to the pro game.
And there was no, what was the purse for that?
I'd be lying if it was probably, I don't know, I'll be completely guessing.
What, 100, 150 quid, 200 quid?
Something along them lines. Definitely not more than $1,000 anyway, put it that way.
When did was BAMMA the first big show you went on?
BAMMA, was it? I think so, yeah. I think BAMMA was my first, yeah, it was.
What was the difference in that and some of the smokers? Because I've seen you in some places where there's as many people in this room. Some of them spots.
Oh, yeah. No, I had one fight in Leeds, I'll never forget it. It was in a pub, And I'm not joking, you know. It was like they just cleared a few stools out the way in some old pub in Leeds. And I went and fought in it, and that was probably the roughest one I'd ever fought in. I was like, wow, this is mental.
Cage or a ring?
It was a ring. I fought some local Leeds guy, and I was like, what? Like, moody setup. So we'd seen Snatch. It looked like clearing like bar stools out the way in the middle of some old pub in Leeds. Yeah, it was bad.
I've just had a thought.
Go on.
Talk to me about Malia.
Oh yeah, that was another one. That was my second pro fight, I think, or third.
Is that on the record?
It's on there, yeah.
No, it's not.
It is. It was a proper fight. It was a proper fight with proper rules. It was mad. As mad as it sounds. So I'm in Malia. I'm on holiday. I've gone with the lads for a lads' holiday to celebrate winning my first pro fight. And a couple of days into the trip, some guy comes up to us on the beach. He's want to go and watch some cage fights, you know, handing out the flyers like they do. I said, oh, that sounds good. Why not? So we go down, and yeah, as I'm there was a pull out. You know, like, the main event's off or whatever. And I was with all my mates from like school and that. And I was like, shall I just do this for a buzz? And then they were like, well, we've been drinking all day on the beach. It's probably not a good idea. And I'm like, fuck it, it'll save the holiday, won't it? Let's get involved. So I went and got in. I had a little pair of pink beach shorts on. I mean, this is on YouTube. I'm so glad someone actually got some footage of this because they'd think you're lying. And stuck the gloves on, no gum shield, no nothing, no box.
The guy's a heavyweight as well, wasn't he?
Yeah, some big, thick Greek guy. I'll never forget. I was with Adam, though, to be fair.
He says thick, he was a fat dude.
Yeah, he was. He was. But he was strong in a weird way. It was a weird fight, but... So
also,
then
his job is clearly just battering tourists.
Yeah, so he met his match one day. One day the tourist that didn't go down, the pistol Piggers guy didn't go down for once. And then I'm in the changing room warming up with Adam, and he comes in, he goes, who's Brent? Like, they speak in Greek, and then they all start pointing and laughing at me in my pink shorts. I thought, fuck that, like, I'm having this guy. Now, do you know what, to be fair, it wasn't a bad little fight. It was a pretty close first round. Second round was semi-close, and then he was getting more tired than me in a weird way. I thought, wow, I've been on the piss. I'm literally on the piss now. You know what I mean? And he started to get tired, and I remember the ref come up to me in between the second and third. I went, we're only doing 2 rounds now instead of 3. Just made it up mid-fight. So my mate goes, you better finish him in this round then, or you're not going to win a decision, are you? Mm. So then, finished him, mounted him, ground and pound. I just ran at him like a psycho. Because I thought, I'm not losing a fight here in Greece on my record, imagine. And then, beat him, and then that was it. That was 2-0 then. And then I remember ringing up my coach saying, oh, no way, I'm 2-0. And he's like, what do you mean? I said, I've ended up fighting on holiday. And my mate's got it on his phone, like just a shit old phone from back then. He's like up and down with it. Do you know what I mean? So like, you can't really see the footage, ain't the best, but it's hilarious. It's a great one to tell the grandkids, isn't it?
Yeah, it's mad. It's a daft one. I'm going to fast forward. And we'll probably jump around a little bit here. Dana White Contender Series. Massive, pivotal moment. We spoke about this last week. Probably shouldn't have even been on the show. You and others, actually, probably should not have been on the show. You go on it. You get the win. Are you told going into this that if you win, you're pretty much in? And that's the sort of the gist of it.
I'd even like to rewind to my first ever letdown. My first ever real letdown was when I fought for the BAMMA world title. I got against a guy called Tom Duquesnoy, who was the golden child. I think he was 15-0 or something. I can't remember exactly.
Was you undefeated at the time as well?
Yeah. And I got called to fight him in Dublin, in Ireland. So I moved to America 6 months. I'd been on the Ultimate Fighter already.
Was that with Dom?
It was. I'd already been on the Ultimate Fighter, which was a whole other story. But, I went on the Ultimate Fighter at 20. Didn't really expect nothing. Ended up getting to the semi-final, losing a close fight on points to Norman, who won it. So I did very well on there. And
you was a late replacement in that?
Late replacement, yeah. Got called in literally. Can you fight in Australia tomorrow? It was. I was like, yeah, why not? And then just got on a 24-hour flight, as you do, and ended up fighting and won the fight. Got myself in the semis and then lost a close one to Norman, but I had no business being anywhere near the Ultimate Fighter at 20. I think I was 5-0. Norman Park was 23-2 or something. It was like a massive way, like
also a lot heavier as well.
Yeah, a lot heavier. Big unit. That's when I knew I wasn't a lightweight. I was never a lightweight anyway, and they put me when I landed against their like prospects, some 10-0 kid, and then I beat him, and then they give me Norman, like I say. And the rest was history. But I didn't really expect too much on that Ultimate Fighter anyway, because that was like a last minute thing. But then they offered me Tom Duquesnoy, and I was like, right, this kid is a great fighter. The Fire Kid, they called him. He'd never lost a fight. And then I'd already been on the Ultimate Fighter, so I had some contacts in America. So I flew to America, did about, I can't remember how many months, a long time though, really isolated myself from everyone. That was my first time where I went, I'm going to focus, I'm going to get involved, and I'm going to win this world title. It was on Channel 5, and it was like the big moment for me. And then I remember having the fight, winning all 3 rounds very comfortably. And I was like, right, and I got told off Dom, like, win this fight and I'll get you in the UFC. This guy's a big name. It's a big belt to have, BAMMA belt, sweet. And then after the fight, they give him the decision. And I was like...
It was split as well, wasn't it?
Well, it was split, but, I mean, there's even rumours to this day about stuff that was going on behind the scenes at BAMMA. One of the reporters, whose name I won't say, was like... You do know that you was never winning that fight unless you knocked him out. And I nearly did knock him out. I actually dropped him and nearly had him out of there at one stage and kind of took my foot off the gas because I was coasting. And that was my first taste of real bitter, like, the world is against you type, feel sorry for me. Like, that was my first time I had to, like, really consider, like, what I was doing, because I won the fight clearly, comfortably, every round, and got absolutely robbed. And I was like, wow, that shouldn't have happened, but like that, I won that fight. And one person I've got to give a shout out to on this podcast, because I respect him so much for this, was David A, because he was the commentator on the fight, and they're all getting paid for a script, aren't they? And he's just gone, that's terrible, what's just happened to that young lad, on air though, like, nah. And then anyway, I seen him a couple of years later and I brought it up and he remembered. I mean, I was like, thank you for that, because it was a terrible moment in my life, because I'd gone all in on the sport. I'd fucked everything off and I was going for it, and I got it and got robbed. So it's like, wow, well, that's not fair. But then I learned that life ain't fair. Get on with it.
How'd you process that? When did you process that, actually?
So I've come back from Dublin. I didn't even come out of my room for about a month. I was just like, what am I going to do now? That was the moment. I was supposed to go to the UFC after that, and my career was supposed to take off. And I was like, where do you go? Back to BAMMA, have 3-4 more fights to get to a title shot again? That's what they were saying. And it's like, I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to start again. I'd already gone all in. I'd already took the risk, and then you're back to earning less dough. And then, well, they only got 1,500 quid for a world title fight on BAMMA, so you can imagine what you're getting for the other fights. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous when you think of it. When you're fighting on Channel 5 main events with big crowds and full stadiums, and you get 1,500 quid and you're the main event, it's ridiculous. So...
Did you process that then? Or did it take a long time to process?
A long time. Really hard. I thought the world was against me, but... when you just know you've won and you're just waiting for your hand to be raised, and then someone else's hand's raised, and you're like, well, that weren't supposed to happen, we'll get on with it. You just got to get on with it, haven't you? But I didn't realise that that's how life was at that time. I thought life was half fair at that time, but it just wasn't. So it was like, okay. Couple of months went past, feeling sorry for myself, got myself a big fat pudding, and you know what it was? There was a reality check, but actually got me back in the room. I'll never forget it. I was sat in my gaff in Sofa Keys, and my phone camera was on me by accident. I've still got the picture. I'm going to show you. I took a picture of myself by accident.
Chinned up.
No, lad. No. Listen. I'm not joking. You won't recognise me. It's like that. And I looked at this picture and I thought, oh no. And then I was like, okay, you need to start getting it together now. I don't know if I was half, like, because he's hit me with some good shots too. I don't know if maybe I had a bit of concussion as well or whatever. But, so yeah, anyway, got back in the gym, boom, all the way along. Then let's fast forward a good few years then. I was just blasting everyone out of there. I was too good for BAMMA, I was too good for European scene. I was #1 in Europe. I was just flying. And everyone was like, what is this guy's the guy? There was people was putting me with me and Paddy. It was me and Paddy, and it was me and Paddy, and why ain't Paddy fighting? I was trying to fight Paddy. I was ringing Graham Boylan trying to make that fight happen, and then obviously Graham had his own ideas and whatever, so that fight didn't happen. And then I was like, I just need another chance.
It felt like that was a real good, like, domestic rivalry.
Yeah.
I remember, I don't think we're breaking any news here, but Roy was saying him and Jesse was thinking about trying to put it on and having like Liverpool versus Manchester, and he'd be like, do you imagine how much we'd fill in this place? I think he was talking about the MEN at the time, and I was like, yeah, that would. Can you imagine Liverpool versus Manchester MMA fight or MMA show?
It would have been ridiculously big.
It'd have been one of the biggest non-UFC domestic fights in MMA that there's ever going to have been.
It's still right now the biggest domestic MMA fight you could ever make. Right this second. And it still has been for a decade.
Yeah. And it's never happened.
Isn't it mad?
Yeah. It is the Mayweather-Pacquiao of Mancunian Liverpool MMA.
And I was actually out with him at the F1 the other day, and we was laughing about it because we used to slag each other off to death. And then he asked me to come down and do his podcast. And we did like an hour or two on his podcast, laughing about all the beef, growing up. Because we were the two guys. Still are the two guys, really. When you think about it, think about Manchester, you think me. When you think Liverpool, you think him. So it's funny. So,
you ever sparred each other?
Nah, we've never trained. Nah, probably met on a hand. Nah, met quite a lot through the scene. But when we was like supposed to be matched up, it was like I was saying, I did what course I wanted to look at the guys I fought, mate. I fought nothing but daggies. We all like it. And when even have it in your head that I'm scared of fighting Paddy was ludicrous at the time. Mate. I would fight with anyone. Like I've had more fights than anyone, 30-6 as a pro. Like to even put it across the table, I was scared of Paddy was crazy, and that's what they was trying to insinuate. So you can imagine how mad I was. I was like, how can I be scared of you? Have you seen the people I've been fighting? And then he was saying the same. It was management that was getting in between. I genuinely believe, obviously, he would have fought me, and I would have fought him, but Graham and the people in the way had other ideas, didn't they? You know what I mean?
I don't understand why it didn't happen, because to me it made commercial sense. Like, it wasn't even like a rankings thing, it wasn't like a popularity thing, it was like this would have done numbers. Like, why, if you had both of those fighters on your roster, why would you have not have matched them? Did you ever get to the bottom of why?
Well, my version of it is I rang Graham myself and I was like, look, I want to fight him. I said, and he goes, I was fighting at ACB at the time with the Russians, yeah.
Oh God, I remember.
And I think I was making a lot of money. I was making like a lot of money at the time. The Russians was like really looking after me. So I said to Graham, I said, look, I'll come over there. And they agreed I could go and do it. And he was like, yeah, all right, sweet. He goes, well, what I'm going to do, I'm going to sign you up for 4 fights or 5 fights, can't remember. I'm going to give you like 1,500 quid, yeah. I was making like more than 10 times that year. And I'm going, right. I said, all right, sweet. I said, no worries. I said, tell you what, Graham, I'll do that fight for free. I don't want no money, but I'm not doing another 4 at fucking 1,500 quid. I'm just not doing it. Well, that's it. There's your choices. You sign with me, basically.
So he wanted you locked in for
exactly.
a handful.
So we had the winner. So we went, either way that fight went, he was sweet. And I'm like, mate, come on. I said, I'm not doing that. And he was like, well, that's it. So then I was like, no. And then they were like, you've had a contract, you're not signing it. I went, give over, please. Do you know what I mean? So they were the politics on my side.
You've had a contract, but...
Thank you.
But
sign the contract,
technically, you've had a contract, but
exactly.
It's not really worth a fucking wank.
There you go. And that was what they were running with. And I was sat there thinking, really? And then everyone was like, but you've had the contract, lad, just sign it. And I'm like...
Did you not think, let me just tell you how much they're offering here?
I think I did.
Yeah.
I think I made it all public from what I remember, but we are going back a long time ago here. Obviously, he's done great about fighting for the UFC title now, so hats off to you, mate. I'm absolutely buzzing for you. Like, for one of the lads local to do well and go all the way with it, fair play to you. Do you know what I mean?
I like Paddy as a character. Like, I can't handle media-trained wet knobheads.
Yeah, true.
And Paddy's not that.
Yeah, no.
Paddy
he says exactly what he wants.
He's real, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. We've got to give him that, haven't we?
Even if there's the Manx-Scouse rivalry, that'll never end, but... Ultimately, I like him. Exactly. He's real, and he's good for the sport in the country.
Big time.
So go on then, let's talk about the Contender Series.
So yeah,
there's been a couple of things, not quite. I think if you'd have had your way, maybe the Paddy fight happens, you'd probably end up with a Cage Warriors title, and eventually you pop into the UFC. So before we talk about that specific incident a bit, how does the Contender Series even come around?
I'm living at Dom's. I'm training with Dom every day, and I'm like, look, mate, get me a shout in the UFC. What? Like, I don't understand what is going on.
They're signing people way below you.
Yeah, like, imagine you're number 1 and 5, 6, 9, 12, 24 and all getting signed. I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
Have you not even had conversations with them? Management?
Don't worry, when a spot pops up, we'll shout him. So it was just that for years. And I was running out of ideas. I didn't want to fight for Bellator. I didn't like the product. I just thought it was shit, basically. And ONE FC was there. I didn't really want to go to Japan every week. You know what I mean? Like, and then so I was like,
the UFC's the show, isn't it?
Yes. I'm like, just get me in this. Like, what the fuck is going on? Open up this door. So they offered me the Contender, I just ripped the hand off, obviously. And they offered me a guy, Bilal Joe, who was like, had 2 belts on the east coast of America. He was the guy in America. He was the number 1 guy at the time, Bilal Joe. Like, all right, sound, anyone, whatever. So basically I'm told, yeah, like win the fight and you're in. It's simple. So I'll go and I'll win the fight again. I did just before I went there, Fury and Rashford and all these guys, the whole United team, and everyone's like, good luck, Brendan, and all that. And then everyone's doing these videos, and there's a big media storm of me going into the Contender, where it's like, wow, who's this guy? There's never been anyone this popular on the Contender Series. It was mad.
I mean, even in the UFC, to
yeah.
Extent.
I was the next English guy. Absolutely destroyed Bilal Joe every round, battered him, had a perfect performance, just didn't finish him. I did everything but finish him, which I don't know how he survived in there, but he did. He's a very experienced, well-trained fighter who's a champion. So that's how he survived. And then I get told, right, sweet, you're in the UFC. Like, as soon as I come out the cage, sweet, you just need to go in this room and they're going to sit you like this in front of lights and you're going to get told you're in. And I'm like, sound. So I sit down and I'm like ready now to just get my mum and everyone's in this thing. And I'm like, this is the moment. And then all I remember is, what you don't do, you don't come here, you don't fight like that, and you're not in the UFC. And I swear to you, yeah, I'm not joking.
You winding me up.
There's like a big cast of like cameramen and lights right there, yeah, and every one of them just went, like, turned away, they're all like, and then it's like my life left me, soul left me. I was looking at him like, what did he just say?
For those who aren't aware of what happened, like I said, you've won every round, and at the end of the fight, last 10 seconds, you execute a takedown. Something that we see securing the round. We see it at the World Championship level. You see it on 3-rounders. It's a very normal thing to do. You're in control, execute a takedown, finish the fight on top.
Exactly that.
Right? So you do that. You get the win. And Dana sees his arse with that as the way the fight ended for some reason. The only person on earth that might have seen his arse with the way the fight ended, I believe.
Yeah, it was very strange. And there's a lot of conspiracy theories that surround what has gone on. But I'm just going to tell you from my perspective, there was no conspiracies involved with me because I was just a guy that deserved that moment and worked very hard for up to that point, over a decade to get to that point, and did everything I was told to do by the book. You give me the hardest fight you could find, yeah. You knocked me back for years for no reason, and then when I do go in, I do execute what I'm supposed to do, and then I also get told you just got to sit in front of this camera and get told you're about to be in, and then I sit there and I have to get embarrassed again in front of the whole world, and I'm sat there. And I'm like, the whole room goes silent. Bearing in mind, he signed him and him next to me who did fucking nothing. Terrible. And I'm like, yeah, this ain't adding up. And then I literally just like, when they said that, everyone was like scratching their heads because like after the fight, Paul Felder and the 2 guys pick who they think should be in. And they just put me both at the top of the list. Like, obviously Brendan's in. So then it's like, right, okay, this what now? Do you know what I mean? So then I just say to everyone, it's silent in this room now, it's fucking silent. And I went, am I allowed to leave yet? And I'm like, yeah, you can leave. So I get up and walk and I'm like, well, now what do I do? Now really what do I do? Like really what do I do? Because now it's like, even that door's closed now.
So what you feel like there? Like, because you feel cheated, embarrassed,
all of
confused.
That, everything, yeah, all of that in one.
You've just been punched in the head for a quarter of an hour as well.
Again.
And you're thinking,
it's
just not going to happen.
I go back to my room, and then I'm in my room and I'm pissing blood again, and my nose is broke again, and I'm like looking in the mirror like, what is all this for? I made $5,000 like for all that, you know what I mean? I'd gone away training again.
Do people think $5,000 is a lot for a night's work, but it's 2-3 months work, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. So there's nowhere to go now. All doors are closed. That's your final door closed, and you imagine you've done everything you should do. I've ticked every box.
What year was this?
2019.
So you're over a decade in the sport.
Yeah.
You've got a record that
It's unbelievable.
belongs in the UFC.
20-2 I was at the time.
It belongs. So the 2 losses is the one on ACB,
Yeah.
and the Duke of Marlborough.
Yeah.
Both controversial.
Exactly.
Both split.
Both splits. Yeah.
So there's a case to be made that you're 22 and
22 and 0, yeah, at that stage. So it's almost like you're a Val Morrison's of the world, someone who's just absolutely better than everyone, but they're just like, no, I'm not, because obviously the attitude's different. But I'm talking skill.
Issues, isn't there? Yeah.
You know, when someone stands out skill wise, and they're running around people and they're doing stuff in football, like where you're like, wait, you should be playing for United, but you're at Scunthorpe. It was that type of vibe.
But there wasn't. I mean, anyone that knows, I do want to get into what a training day looks like for you, because I don't think people will believe it. Everyone who knows you knows attitude, work rate, work ethic, dedication isn't ever something that's been in question, which, unfortunately for Ravel isn't the case.
Yeah.
No, there's always that sort of talk persisted about him. Skillful, not dedicated. That wasn't the case.
Yeah.
So how do you handle that? Talk me through that. So that night, you go in your room. I'm assuming you spoke to your mum. I know you're close to your mum.
Yeah, of course.
What, do you want to be on your own? Do you want to just get smashed?
I'll be honest. I go back to my room and I'm down. And I'm like, obviously, like, my coach, mate, Tony's been on this journey with me. It's not just me. You got a full line of people that just want to see you do it, and you're like, fucking hell, like, you deserve it. And they're like, people like yourself, there's loads of people watching my story as well, and they're like, fuck me, is he ever going to catch a break, that kid? So
yeah, and I'm pretty sure I texted you at the time, like, what the fuck has happened, which I want to know, because my mate, and so does every other mate that's texted you as well.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I imagine your headspace is just, I don't want to text you, I don't want to reply,
Well,
I ain't got an answer, I don't know what's going on.
I'm just lucky because I've got some very good mates, and they all flew out to the fight, and I'll never forget, they'd spent 20 grand, right, on this fucking table at Omnia, but it weren't just a table, it was like, my picture was all around the club. As I come in, they stopped the music, I had Union Jacks walking me in. They'd planned all that for the victory, basically, and then they were like, look, we're still doing it, like, we don't give a fuck. And they were like, my coach was in the room, and they're like, they've planned something special, but you should go out, I said, oh, fuck that, how can I go out? Like, no, trust me, like, just go out, your mates are here, you've come all the way to Vegas, you're in Vegas, you've won your fight, don't let this get you down, fuck it. All right, sounds, so go out, I had the best night ever. Yeah, like, I'm like, fuck it, I'm off. Ended up having a great time, to be honest. Fucking my mates pulled me right out the hole straight away. And then, I believe a week later, they then signed the guy that I battered. They signed him to the UFC.
That... If they don't sign you...
Stephen, think about it. Come on,
if they don't sign you, they don't sign you.
Sounds like I'm making this up.
Signing the guy that
sounds like a horror story.
It does, yeah. It sounds like you've pissed someone off that you shouldn't have pissed off.
What can I say? What can I say about that? It was that was like a kick in the nuts. I was like, how does that even work? He's not even being able to win a minute of the fight. I'm battering him. I'm almost target practicing him at one point. I just couldn't finish him. And I wonder if I did finish him, how would they have got around that? Do you know what I mean? They would have found something then.
Well, do you think that you was never getting signed no matter what happened? Because obviously you win the fight, you don't finish him, but you've dominated the fight. Like, what's the criteria in your head that you think might have actually got you signed? Or was it just not going to happen that night?
It's been a decade of fighting at that level and beating that many people. Do you know what I mean? So surely I would have been signed before that, but then I actually get a moment where the whole world could watch, and the whole world got to watch the injustice that was happening, apart from me in my own head. It got justified. Does that make sense?
The explanation does, but the way it all shook out doesn't. It still doesn't make sense.
No, so in my head, I'm thinking I should be in the UFC. And I'm telling myself that every day looking in the mirror. And when I went and did what I did in the public eye, now everybody's thinking, he should be in the UFC, what's going on? So now your Ariel Awanis, your John Woods, your Tim Simpsons, your Ali Abdulazizes, your people like that have been like, what the fuck? Whereas they might not have been if that didn't happen. Do you know what I mean? If I didn't get to show my skill set under them lights, I was just a guy that was crying wolf on his own. So that it was justified, because now everyone's saying, what's got you and then they're all looking at my record and who I fought, and they're like, hang on a minute, this resume doesn't add, like, what's going on here? So now everyone's on my side.
So did anyone at the time offer up any reasons for this?
There's been a few conspiracy theories knocking around.
This is for the audience's benefit, because I actually know. And that's something that's going to probably be added at a later date. But what was the talk at the time? Because obviously the truth came out a lot later.
Yeah.
It's not. Sorry, it's not out. But what was the talk of the time?
There's been many theories around this.
Or what was the talk that night, that day? Was there a reason? Was your face don't fit? Was you on too much money? What was the? Can you remember?
There wasn't. It was a takedown. Apparently,
it was a black hole.
It was
sense.
A takedown, and anyone that knows who in the industry went, that's not fucking true. We know, everyone knows that ain't true. So what is it? And I'm sure one day the truth will come out, because it always does, doesn't it, Stephen?
It does.
You can't hide it forever. So I'm sure one day we'll know.
So from then, you end up in PFL?
So then, now I've got the whole world on me, like, what's going on? I've got your Ariels, he wants to do interviews. I was already on Ariel before it, fair play to Ariel. And I remember going on his show, and he was like, is there anything you want to tell us? And I was like, no. And he's like, you sure there's nothing you want to tell us about why you think it's happened? And he prodded me for an hour, right? Ariel's got his own theories, yeah, and he's like, are you sure there's absolutely nothing that's gone on in this whole lifetime?
He's
adamant.
He's quite a connected fella.
Yeah.
I imagine he probably knew.
Yeah, and he's like, what a guy though, mate, because he like really got my even I think a week before the fight, he's like playing all the Fury stuff and all that online, and he was going, mate, this is mad. He goes, fair play to. He's like, we've never seen anyone come into the Contender Series like this, or into the UFC from the UK, really, with a United football team behind it, and he's a big football fan. So you got Ariel on side now, and so anyway, so I think a month had passed, and I had Ali Abdulaziz, I had Tim Simpson, I had Malky Kawa. Every manager who's anyone in MMA was like, we want to sign you. So then I got a call about this PFL thing. About a month later, I'd never even really heard of the PFL. It was like a new concept. And they said, we're going to give $1 million away to whoever who wins it. And I thought, what? You're going to give $1 million away? And I thought it was just too good to be true. Because usually when it sounds too good to be true, it is too good to be true. So I just kind of was like, are they just going to go bust? Are they actually going to pay people? I was thinking that. And then I just said to every manager, there's an open playing field. Whoever brings me the most dough and the best deal, I'm gonna sign with them. And then Malky just wouldn't leave me alone. He was just ringing me every day. He just kept going and going and going. And the other ones would ring me every few days. And I thought, I need someone hungry like Malky. And he literally doubled the dough that any of the others did. Doubled, not even a bit more.
In terms of the purse he could get you?
Yeah. No, well, he pulled a little move, which I even respected. He went, I'm going to get you this in sponsorship as well. And that was double. Because they do signing bonuses. And the PFL, well, they did then, because they really wanted me, because I was a massive deal at the time. My name was everywhere. And they thought, you're exactly what we need right now. We need someone that's in the spotlight to get put on our show, to bring some light, some eyes. So they really threw the checkbook at me. So really, when you actually think about it now, and I sit back and I look, it was the greatest thing that ever happened to me, because ultimately this is prize fighting. We fight for money, and everybody loses sight of that, because if I would have got signed that night, I would have ended up on the generic 10 and 10, 12 and 12, 14, 14. And my starting purses were 4 or 5 times at PFL. So it's I was already started I'd had 4 UFC fights. And
the UFC at the time as well was it's not a division you'd have been scared of, because I know you, but it was a stacked division.
Yeah, it still is.
Yeah, it's the sort of division where you can just step one way wrong and get shot.
Exactly.
And you know how quick they are, especially that division at the time as well, to just cut people.
Yeah. So
if you face Fitch, you can lose 7 in a row.
So,
but if it don't, you can do 2, and that's you.
Thank you, see ya. Well, so it was all about the timing of it all happening, really, and PFL just coming around. And I remember it was July, and I got on the phone with the owner. Me, Malky and the owner was on the phone. It was July and he goes, I'll give you 2 fights before the end of the year. One's in the Mandalay Bay in Vegas and one's at Madison Square Garden on New Year's Eve. I went, you are lying. Anyway, yeah, I'll do that. I'll make sure that happens.
I remember how excited you was with Madison Square
I just couldn't believe it. I just said, I've always wanted to fight in Vegas. I'd fought in Vegas on a Contender in a closed show, but this is an arena. And I was like, wow, I'm going to fight at the Mandalay Bay. What, same place as Tyson and everyone. And then I'm going to fight Madison Square Garden 3 months after that. And I was like, where do I sign? They're going to give me a massive signing bonus, massive. And the first thing I did was paid off my mum's house because it was a big amount of money at the time. And I was like, they're just going to transfer me that. And he's like, yeah. And you're going to fight in these 2 major arenas. And then you're going to go into the tournament next year. I thought, get me in the door here.
You feel like you was one of the favourites going into the tournament? Or knowing... Did you know who was in the tournament before you signed?
I didn't know anything, no. I didn't know anything.
Just signed it on the off chance of like, we'll figure it out.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. Where else was I going? Let's have it right.
That's true.
It was like, let's just roll the dice with these.
Just pause on that then a sec. So, where was you going? Was there other offers on the table from other organisations?
Yeah, Bellator, 1FC, KSW. I had offers off all of them. And nothing was $1 million and nothing was Madison Square Garden or the Mandalay Bay, so it just blew. And a signing bonus, so I was in. Didn't give up again. A lot of people would have given up at that point again. I mean, there's been many points that I've just mentioned within this story where people would have just gone, that's enough now. Let's just close the door on this sport. This sport's clearly not going to work out. You know, all the way from Tom Duquesnoy, Contender, losing in the first tournament. And I was just like, what the fuck else have I got here, mate? Crack on, keep going.
Well, what could you have done?
I know.
If you'd have called it a day after the first tournament, what does the next 5 years
I'm not going to be a bricklayer, am I? I'm not just going to start learning how to lay bricks at that point, am I? I'm a fighter. That's what I do. So that's what I continue to do. And then the moment at Madison Square Garden when I fought Bubba Jenkins, an American, in his hometown, and I went over there. He was world renowned, and went over and knocked him out. And then the moment of knocking him out is something that it can never ever be explained. It can't be put into words because it was a combination of, at that point, probably 13 years, 14 years of hard work every day, 24 hours a day, because this is a 24 hours a day job. Because you even look at a chocolate bar, you can't eat because you've got to make weight on a certain date. I was living away from home the whole time, didn't see my family. I was just chasing this one mad goal for so long.
We've not even touched on how long you spent in Thailand.
Yeah,
in
months,
all of this.
years, and just sat on your own, training every day, like trying to chase this mad goal where you just keep let down. And people are like, fucking hell, mate, get a job now, it's over. Do you know what I mean?
Did that go through your head?
Not really, no.
You just think, I'm making this work, and that's...
I had to make it work. And they say that, you know, like when they're saying anything, and I look at all these documentaries on Netflix of people that made it, and they go, well, there wasn't a plan B, you can't have a plan B.
Burn the ships.
Yeah.
We're not going home.
But I was also getting to 32, 33. Most fighters ends at 33, 34, so I knew it was fucking now or never. It was do or die sort of thing. And yeah, got the win, and the most liberating feeling in the world, the best feeling in the world, because I'd actually proved someone wrong as well, because Dana actually did say, well, if I'm wrong, prove me I'm wrong. And then I actually did, because I went and made more money in one night though than I would have made in my whole career in the UFC. And then I went and cornered Darren Till 10 days after my fight, and it's the first time I've seen Dana since the Contender Series, and there's a video that's online, I'll show you, where I walk on with Darren Till. He didn't know I was there, and basically I was supposed to just disappear into the ashes, wasn't I? That was it. Brendan was over, because once the boss gives it that one, it's over for you.
Yeah, you're not supposed to come world champion and then come and flaunt it in his
you're
face.
You're supposed to make more
later.
money than him, well, more money than you would have ever made with him, and got more fame, because everyone was like, wow, that's the kid off the Contender.
Did he acknowledge you?
I walked on, and he turns and looks at me and looks again and goes, what the fuck are you doing? And he shakes my hand and just looks at me like that. And I obviously, Till's the main event, and I'm here with the main event, this English guy, and I've got my belt and I've got my money. My life's set. And I'm like, nice one. And that was a good feeling and a good moment.
Talk me through one of your training days, because there's some people going to be watching me going like, you don't do that every day. And I know you do it every day.
Yeah.
What time does it start?
Like, even when I used to train with, like, Dominic Cruz, pound for pound, Peter Yan was one of the pound for pounds. Like, they all used to look at me like I was a nutter, and these were world champions. I don't know what it was. I just had a raging, burning fire inside me that just wouldn't allow me to stop. I don't know what it was. I just absolutely was obsessed to another level. I had this internal desire that if I could bag it up and sell it, I'd be a trillionaire, because it was just all day, every day. And I can't really put my finger on what it was and why I did it now when I look back. But it was definitely something that I look back on now when I'm a bit older, because when I do dwell on, you know, what was it inside you, I think, fuck me, you was an absolute lunatic. Like, I'd just be in the gym all day, be the first, the last. And it was just something that was like I say, where guys that I was respecting was turning and look at me and going, yeah, lad, you're not well, you. Do you know what I mean? Like,
give them the details. What time we starting? What we doing? Where we going? What we eating?
It'd usually just be first thing in the morning. We'd be training.
Time? What time?
Yeah, like, I was never an early guy, though, you know, I'll be honest with you. It'd be 9-ish, 9, 10-ish. I was never like these 6 a.m. up for runs. I was never that guy, to be honest. It used to be an hour and a half, and then I would go back.
This is at the boxing gym?
Yeah.
Typically. So this is in the UK?
I'd go back, train again in the evening.
Because you've got, in my head, you've got 3 types of camp that you would have done. You got your Thailand ones, you got your American ones, you got your ones in the UK. So just give me the UK. What's a typical UK?
Yeah, UK. Day? So I'd be up, probably go Champs in the morning, train at Champs for 2-3 hours. Then I'd go home, I'd sleep, and then it'd be something like hill sprints in the evening. You know what, Steve? It wasn't out of the ordinary. It was just unbelievably consistent. Like, fighters would dip in and out.
7 days a week.
Mine was like, there was no dipping in and out ever in 17 years. There wasn't a day missed, there wasn't a time missed, there wasn't a step out of line with the diet. There was never any of that. And I think that's what people respected, was the consistency, the resilience, and the fact that I'm 30-6 as a pro. It's an unheard of record. There's only like Paul Daly and probably a handful of people that have ever managed to get to 30 pro wins. Like, if you look down the UFC now, there's probably like 10.
There's not.
Yeah, there's probably 10 people that have done it.
It was you that used to tell me about hot yoga, because it was a massive thing for you, wasn't it? I think you said something along the lines of, it's Champs in the morning, a bit of strength and conditioning, some sprints, some pad work, maybe some sparring, all in the same day.
Yeah.
And you was finishing at 8, 9 o'clock at night with hot yoga, and you was like, I don't see that as training, I see that as like a treat. It's like, gets me, I feel loose after it.
I tell you what, that hot yoga saved my career, though. It did. It was like I found something where I could almost meditate, like a moving meditation, because when I'm like constantly on the go, I just felt like I could be on my mat for 90 minutes and my phone, you can't have your phone in the room because it's too hot anyway. And I find it pretty hard to switch off. That was my switch off, because I just have to concentrate on what he was saying, and then I'd have to do my posture and then move on to the next posture. And you're not allowed to talk to the next person. You're not allowed to look at your phone. So I felt like that was me in the room. Whereas
in the moment,
in the room, like, I'm always constantly fucking about doing something. Like, whereas that was, no, I'm locked in for 90 minutes, and I found it very therapeutic. And also, if you look at Giggs and Scholes and all these people, they all took it up and look at the length of their careers. There is something behind the science of hot yoga, and it is something I will continue to do for the rest of my life.
You still do it?
Fell behind a bit, I'll be honest. I fell behind a bit, and I definitely feel it. So it's something that I need to really get back into. But when I'm in it, I'm in it. I don't miss when I'm in it. But when you kind of miss 1 or 2, which has only just recently started happening to me now, come back and travelling around England and that. But when I'm locked in Thailand, that's the reason I would take myself to Thailand, because I wouldn't have my mates here ringing me to go and have a brew. There'd be none of that. I'd just be actually in my gaff. I'd be in the gym or in my gaff, be in yoga in my gaff, I'd be running in my gaff. And then, like, it's eat, sleep, train, eat, sleep, train, eat, sleep, train all day. And when you're over here, that's why I took myself away from the UK. I know too many people. I'd be running down the road and people, oh yes, Landon, and you'd be chatting to them. And you wouldn't want to be rude to people, but over there, you're just away from everything, and everyone knows when you're on that street, don't fuck with you because that's where you're training for your world titles. You know what I mean?
That's a Tiger.
Exactly, yeah.
In Thailand.
Now Bangtao, but yeah, originally Tiger.
And that's a bit of a mecca for people. And obviously it's a Thai boxing, Muay Thai kind of place, but in recent years has evolved to have a massive sort of MMA presence, hasn't it?
Oh, mate, like you wouldn't believe. These gyms, mate. Bangtao and Tiger.
Just a roof with no walls.
Have you been?
No, but I've seen photos.
Not now. It's gone to another level, Bangtao. It's just ridiculous, mate. You're talking about 100 pro fighters sparring at once on the mat. It's like the American top teams and all that. Like, there's just mega gyms full of amazing world-class coaches and facilities and massages and your nutrition's all taken care of. And I just genuinely believe if you're an aspiring fighter, these are the gyms you need to be at. You need to be at them, mate. You do. To go anywhere, you need to be at the big gyms because this is where they're spotting the talent, and you'll put yourself in with real world-class people, and you really will get told if you're there or not. Whereas if you're just training with Bill and Ben in your gym, hitting a bag, you never know how good you are until you're sparring with the best.
Talk to me about sparring with McGregor.
Fun. I really enjoyed it. I really like his personality. I think he's a top guy.
Where was that? Was that in Dublin?
In Dubai.
Oh, in Dubai.
Yeah, we did like 6 weeks of sparring. That's all we did, really. Like, he was supposed to be a trainer, but we just sparred. And it was great. I just enjoyed it because obviously I'd grew up watching him with the Aldo thing and all that, and an inspiring guy, do you know what I mean? And then he's like, do you want to train? It's like, fucking right, I do. And he really respects my story because he's watched it unfold as well. Because he's obviously come up in the same ranks as me, Cage Warriors and all that, so he's watched mine. And yeah, I enjoyed it. Like, we just used to meet up and put the gloves on and have a fucking ding-dong, like, until like somebody got tired, basically. We'd have the crack after, go in the sauna and all that, and yeah, mate, stayed in touch ever since. I'm sure it won't be the end of our training, to be honest. I'm sure he's planning on residing in Dubai because that's what we was talking about. So I'm pretty sure that won't be the end of it either.
And how did it come about with Dom? Because obviously you lived in his house with him, right?
Yeah, for a long time. It came about with Dom because of Jimmy Harbison was my jiu-jitsu coach on The Ultimate Fighter, and he used to also like stay at Dom's from time to time, and he literally said, when I got the Tom Duquesne fight, he goes, oh, Dom's got a room in his gaff if you want to stay there. I was like, Dom? He's like, yeah, Dominic Cruz. I was like, are you joking me? No, so I ended up just really getting on with him still to this day, do you know what I mean? And then I ended up just living in his.
And training every day.
Every day.
Out in San Diego.
Learning, and you know what I mean? And he always did say, you know, it was mad because when I was coming through the ranks, I remember my coach saying, oh, he was just so confident in me. He was like, yeah, none of these, the only people that are giving you problems are the Holloways of the world, trust me. And then I remember I was with Dom and I was sparring Dom and training with Dom, and I remember he said the exact same thing. He went, the only fight I'd see tough for you is Max Holloway. I went, fucking hell. That's what I said, because when my coach said it, I thought it was fucking weird. I thought, wow, what a mad thing to say. Like, this way better than his. They were the only two guys that was the only guy that they both seen together without even knowing each other. That'd be a good fight for me.
And Dom's intimidatingly smart with his fight IQ as well.
Exactly.
Like, anytime I listen to Dom, I go, I ain't got a fucking clue what I'm talking about, because this guy is just, he's almost talking a different language to the rest of the world. It's like he it must be like Einstein trying to teach like maths to school kids when he's listening and watching MMA, and then he has to explain it in commentary or something like that. It must feel so below him. Like, I mean, to speak to these idiots about the things that I know on a cellular level. He's fascinating, isn't he? How much you learn from him?
Well, he's also just in it like I am. Like, that's all we know. That's all we've ever thought about. That's all we've ever been involved in. And you can imagine you're doing 6 hours a day of range and feeling someone's body, and we know what we're talking about because it's all we do, and we're masters at it. We're world champions. We're masters. We know exactly human movement like not many other people.
How good does it feel to say that as a title and say, I'm a world champion?
I mean, if I would have lost that night, fuck me, mate. I don't know. Wow. I don't know if I could have ever retired happy. Honestly, because how could I have not got it with what had gone on?
On that then, with the R word, what's next?
Not 100% sure right now. I'm in a bit of a grey area, a bit of a middle ground, because I chose not to do the tournament. So they were like, "Oh, it's the tournament again." I said, "Listen, I've done 5 of them. Please leave me alone. I'm done with tournament fighting. What, fucking 5 fights every 6 months?" And I used to fly from Thailand to America, 30 hours fight, fly back, go back in, train 6 weeks later, fly back. Just got too much towards the end. I couldn't do it no more. I couldn't do tournament fighting, so I pulled out of that completely. And fucking enjoying my life. Travelled the world 6 months, did everything I've ever wanted to do. Had a big bucket list of things that I wanted to do within them 6 months and went through every single one of them. And just enjoying having a sugar in my brew and a pint. You know what I mean? Not, you know, like normal stuff.
Well, if you're not going to commit to it yet, and I don't think you should until you're sure.
Exactly.
Retirement is... It's not 5 years away, is it?
No,
that's
for sure.
It's close.
Yes.
What does life look like on the other side of the R word? Because I know you've thought about it.
Yeah, chatting to you. I'm sure we can make a few quid, can't we, chatting shit?
It's been rumoured.
Yeah. I'll always be involved in the PFL, always, because I was the original. I mean, I was the original guy. Look how many English fighters he got now. He got another Mank world champion, Dakota. Like,
by the way, she's a fucking badass, isn't she?
Yeah.
Like, she's the one that you go, she might dominate for a while. Like.
She's carrying the promotion. Like, literally, she's the face of it right now.
She's not getting touched.
No, she's unbelievable. Really happy for her.
She's a blue, isn't she?
Oh, yeah, she is. Mohamed Makayev, like, we're running. The Manchester scene is running.
And we've got the Ibrahimovs coming through
World
as well.
MMA.
They're going to be a problem.
Isn't it brilliant?
Yeah.
So yeah, just being around all that, really, mate. I'm like the Godfather now, aren't I? I'm like the original. So it's just nice to have all these coming through. If we can help them in any way.
Mo's a problem, isn't he? I mean, honestly.
I mean, look at this. He's having the same kind of setup that I had.
I think he's in a little bit of a different situation because of how young he is. He's not in his 30s when this is happening. Yeah. I mean, I remember when he won his second amateur world title, I had a convo with him.
It's mental.
And I was like, don't rush into the UFC. Go and pick every belt up in the world. Because he was still a teenager.
Yeah.
Like, go and pick every belt up in the world and then let him be begging to get you in. And then it hasn't gone to plan for him, but he's still so young, still undefeated, still not getting.
I think he's had about 5 since he got released. And
he's not getting touched.
Yeah, it's weird.
You know, he genuinely has got the opportunity to go down as one of the greatest of all time, and he's still like
exactly.
What is it? Early 20s?
Yeah, it don't make sense.
He's a joke. He's an absolute joke, and he's not the only one in this city that's got the potential to do that sort of stuff. So yeah, it's awesome. It's awesome. So. What do you think you're going to do?
I'll always train. That's number one.
You ever thought about coaching?
Sort of. It's just it's very time consuming and emotionally investing.
Well, you got to go all in, aren't you? You can't be a part-time coach.
Exactly. And all the travelling that would come with it, taking fighters to fights all around the world, and it's a massive commitment that I'm not quite ready for yet. I've got quite a few properties now in Dubai, and I use my money very wisely when I got it. So I'm actually quite lucky with that I don't have to worry right now. You know what I mean? That fucking I need to get a job right now, which I was very lucky. Well, not lucky. It was shrewd. It was smart. I was smart with my money. Even I bought my mum's back when I first got my paycheck. Now that's in Didsbury. It's a nice place. Then I've got a couple in Dubai, and I don't have to stress right now about fucking hell, when's my next paycheck coming, because things are good. Not a lot of fighters have done that.
I'd say it's probably less than 1% of all the people who've ever laced a pair of gloves up.
And then they leave the sport panicking and stressing, which is, I'm not, you know, so that's very fortunate.
You're talking like you've already made a decision here.
No, I'm telling you that I don't stress for money. Like, okay, let's put it like this. Most people have to come back. They have to fight. I don't. If I was to fight again, it would be on Brendan's terms, and it would be an absolute Manchester or Dubai. That's it.
And obviously living out there.
Yeah.
Is that a permanent thing, do you think?
Not quite sure about that. I do love it. I have a great time over there. I have a great network, great friends, great gym, TKMMA, brilliant. Literally can see it from my house window.
Really?
There's gyms across the road. It's probably the main reason I bought that house.
I've heard there's a lot of good gyms, good gym culture.
Exactly.
In,
There is.
in Dubai.
There is. For right now, I'm happy. And I'm happy coming back here for the summer. And I'm happy being over there for the rest of the year. But there is no place like Manchester in the summer, mate. I can't even wait to get out there now. It's fucking great, isn't it?
We went on a brew, didn't we, last week?
Yeah, it's great.
And maybe a cheeky pint. And we were sitting in Stevenson Square, which is like the world's biggest beer garden, isn't it?
Yeah,
it was fucking. It was about 30 degrees and cloudy.
Do you remember the guy walking past? What was he saying?
Oh, there was a guy just going on about United.
Yeah, he was.
At the top of his voice, to no one.
Yeah, innit? Nobody at all screaming about United. It's great. Like, you can't buy that.
You can't.
You know what I mean? It's funny.
You get locked up for that in Dubai.
Hey?
You get locked up for that in Dubai.
Oh, you would do, mate. Yeah, you got to keep your mouth right. I've learned Dubai, mate. Like, listen, one thing I know about Dubai is follow the rules, mate. Like, you best follow the rules because it ain't a place to be messed with for stuff like that.
I think everywhere should be like that, to be honest. That's a
Agreed.
good rule for life.
I think they're doing it right.
Bloody rules. I'm going to ask you some straight up like interview style questions. It's not usually what we do, but I've got a few here for you. What are you still learning about even now at this stage?
I'm trying to learn a new language, do Spanish lessons.
Really?
Yeah. There's an interesting random fact. I'm on 8 now.
You're Duolingo in it?
I'm still, I actually got a teacher.
Really?
Yeah. What else? Trying to learn about properties and stuff like that, and I've got a good network of people, and yeah, I'm just still trying to learn at this age. Do you know what I mean? Because I feel like people get here and just think, right, well, that's it, that's all I'm ever going to know. And I don't want that. And then also learning by travelling and going to all these different cultures and places. And my job now is what I do is like connect this massive network that I've put together all over the world and monetize it. That's the plan.
You just been to Colombia, aren't you?
Colombia,
What's
Brazil.
Colombia saying?
Great. I ended up in the government offices over there, like talking about MMA.
Someone
and
says that's usually a bad thing.
No, they've not got any. Imagine they've not got any MMA over there whatsoever. They never had an MMA show.
What, of any flavour?
Nah, a big country like that. So I'm working on something like that with a link in the government there. So that's just one of the things that I've got in the pipeline.
One principle or value that you'll never compromise on?
Hard work. And there's no such thing as overnight success.
Oh, yeah, no shit.
Exactly.
And last one then. 5 words. How do you want to be remembered?
The best man to ever do it.
That's 7. But yeah, I'll take it.
No, wait. Best man to ever do it. Do it's one word, isn't it?
Well, to be fair, you're always in them lists.
Yeah.
Most knockouts, most wins, 30 wins in combat sports.
Yeah, exactly.
And as your mate, I just got to say, I am so proud of where you've been and
Thanks
what
for
you've
that.
done.
Appreciate it.
And I fucking love watching you become a world champion.
Yeah, it was good. It was great. It was a good moment, wasn't it? It was a great moment.
Yeah, because we've sweated all over each other.
Yeah.
And can had each other in headlocks and all sorts of shit. I didn't usually come out on top, it must be said. Probably didn't think that anyway. But from seeing you in Ian's basement and that fucking sweaty mill
It was horrible.
to being a world champion, I love the journey. I love anyone's journey like that. No one wakes up in silk pajamas and just fucking gets what he wants. And I've seen the grind.
Some do. Some do get given it all, and that was the beauty of not get given anything and having to earn it all, because now when I have got it, I appreciate every last second of it. You know what I mean? Like I've got a few things now that my mum and dad never had. So I'm like, yeah, fucking hell. And I earned every last one of them through blood, sweat and tears as well.
No doubt whatsoever.
Do you know what I mean? Literally, people say that, but mine was blood, sweat and tears. Literally more blood than more sweat than tears than anyone else.
Well, I'm here for whatever's next, brother.
Yeah, man, exciting.
And I'll just say, if we've not said it on camera, I'm sure we did actually when you brought the belt in, but congratulations.
Nice one, mate. Appreciate it.
On what's been a fantastic career. If this is the end of it, maybe there's one last dance to be had. if not, then I think you can look yourself in the eye and know you've done all you could have done.
Exactly. Thank you, mate.
Nice one.
Thanks
Cheers.
for having me. Cheers.